Yo, man, what is up, internet? We were gonna try to get. Hang on. I had a good guest today. I had a good guest lined up. I was gonna get Jose Carrillo on. I'm not sure what's going on, but for some reason, he could hear me, but I couldn't hear him, and then I could hear him, but he couldn't hear me. I got a lot to learn with this roadcaster, man. Jose is a jiu-jitsu. I want to say he's a brown belt, but I'm not 100% sure. I'm not 100% sure. I was going to talk to him and ask him about it, but I'm I'm out here getting it, trying to figure this out. Not sure. See, because like it still shows like this. I'm connected right now. Vicky, check the audio on YouTube. Let's make sure it plays. The room looks nice though. Looks nice in here. That's for sure. I know it looks good. It's just on YouTube or Facebook or whatever. But just look, make sure it's you can hear me. Me? Yeah. Because I'm not entirely sure. I just don't know why I wouldn't be able to hear him. One second. It's being insane. And I don't know why. CopJitsu, invite guest to copy, bam. You can hear me? Okay. Okay. Cool. So that's good. Hang on. We got him on. Add to stream. Can't hear me at all, can you?
I can hear you on my...
I can't hear you though, but watch. Hang on. Can you hear anything?
I can hear you, yes.
You can hear me now?
Yes.
Yes, I can hear you too, man.
Perfect.
All right, gee, dude, I don't have any idea what happened. No idea, man. No idea. I'm so sorry. I didn't do anything different than I normally do. I don't know what happened. I apologize.
Let me turn my brightness up. There we go.
Yeah, well, I'm pasty. If you cut it up too high, you're gonna get blinded, boss.
Yeah. What's up, man?
Oh man, hang on. Now people don't know we've actually never met before.
No, we haven't. No.
Never met, man. Nice to meet you, Jose. I'm Sam.
Matt, nice to meet you too, man. Jose.
Heck yeah, brother. So where do you train at?
So I train at two different gyms. One's Ararat. It's a judo and jiu-jitsu gym in Warrensville Heights. And then Upgraded Industries in Menor, which
awesome.
is like an MMA gym.
Awesome. Who's your coaches?
So I got my black belt from Pablo Castro. He's a no-gi world champ. He's under Brasa. So I'm under affiliated through them. So I'm technically under Emil Fisher. So it goes Emil and then Pablo and then so on.
That's cool, man. Emil's a bit of a character, right?
Yeah, he's definite. He's legit, man. Like people may think like, oh, he's got like weird antics, but he's legit.
Yeah. No, that I wasn't. I would never say that cat's not bad. That's a bad cat. What's it like getting to train with him, man? What's that like?
Well, it's definitely very frustrating at times. Like he will catch you in like things that people don't usually go for. And it's pretty intense at times. So
I bet. But he seems like such a nice guy, man.
Oh, he is, man. He's great.
Heck yeah. How did you get into jiu-jitsu? What brought that about?
Well, I wrestled in high school. And like that was like I got out of high school back in 2006. So after that, I started like, lifting weights or whatever pretty heavily. And I started watching The Ultimate Fighter on Spike TV when it used to be on Spike TV. So then I started watching that. I'm like, man, that like ground stuff looks pretty cool because I never knew anything about submission, grappling, or anything like that. I just knew about wrestling. And they started, these guys were like, it was like, when it was a season where Forrest Griffin and
season 1, man.
Yeah, that was probably season 1.
Stephen Bonner, yeah.
Bonner, exactly. Saw that.
You cut out. I don't know what happened, but you did cut out.
No, I said that it looked like something like I wanted to do. So then I started looking around in the area and I saw some gyms or whatever. But I got it kind of got like cold feet, I was like, it doesn't seem like it's something, I don't know. So I started looking more into it. And then my dad, I guess a friend of his or a coworker of his, got these like cards from this Brazilian dude. It's a, like Brazilian jiu-jitsu, use this card for a free class. So I gave it I called it up and like, yeah, he's like, yeah, man, come on in, whatever. Gave me the address, and then I showed up and was hooked ever since.
Heck yeah, brother. How long did it take you to get your black belt?
So I started training in 2008. So 2008 till now, but I took some breaks, especially like when I had my first two kids. I took maybe like a year off and then started training again. But then I took another break, because I started getting into like law enforcement or whatever. And then I got my purple belt, maybe like years total in between.
You
So,
said 4 years between the purple and the black, you said?
uh, yeah, probably, yeah, around that, yeah.
Cool. So what's it like walking around knowing like, hey, I can strangle you? Or are you just a cool guy all the time?
No, man, no, I don't have any ego when it comes to that. But I mean, it does at times. Like if you think about it, like not a whole lot of people, will ever get that in their lifetime. If you think
No.
about it. So, because a lot of people end up quitting, at blue belt. I mean, it does feel pretty good to be like, oh wow, I've reached a milestone that I wanted to reach. But it's kind of funny though because when I first started doing jiu-jitsu, I never really did it to chase a belt. You know what I mean? I just wanted to be want to learn the submission stuff and especially triangles. I really want to learn triangles. So once I just basically, I guess that's what kept me in it for so long after taking breaks. It's like I just wanted to be a better grappler than chasing belts. But I mean, it's pretty nice though because a lot of people always like nowadays they're like, I guess they say what I say is like more true because I'm a black belt, even though I've been saying the same thing when I was a brown belt or purple belt.
Huh, yes, sir. So why did you want to learn the triangle so bad?
It just looks so cool, man. Because like especially like when someone's on their back, it's like you think they're losing, but you can still attack from there. And it's just the triangle just look very powerful, especially if you hook the leg. I mean, there's no getting out of that.
Oh, you're going to sleep, boss. So do you compete some also?
Yeah, I compete some. I recently did a fight to win back. It was October. I ended up losing by a ref's decision. So, but and then I competed before that. It was like a cage grappling kind of deal. So I mean, I do here and there, but not as active as I should. But
Have you thought about fighting people?
like MMA,
Yeah, as it came through, you like maybe do it, or has it even been a thought, or no?
and I did it when I was living back in Florida. When I first started training, I was doing like I only had some amateur MMA fights. But I mean, I probably get back in it again. I'm 33 though, so if I'm gonna do it, I should probably do it sooner than later.
Yes, brother, we're getting old, man.
Yeah,
I'm 29 myself. How many kids you got?
I have four kids,
Same. What do you got?
all boys.
All girls, man. It's insane. It's a madhouse over here. What's it like raising all boys?
It's definitely pretty fun for sure. I mean, I bring my kids to training with me, so they have no
How
choice.
old, how old are they?
Well, I have two of them. Two of them live out of state, and then I have two that live with me. The younger ones, they're one's gonna be 3 in December, the other one's 4. So
Awesome. Heck yeah, man. So you're also a police officer, right? How did that come up? Am I wrong?
no, yeah, I'm a police officer.
How'd you get into that?
Well, I used to bounce back when I lived in Florida. Before I moved to Ohio, I was a bouncer or whatever, and there was always like an off-duty police officer working, in the area or whatever, because there was like a bunch of bars and stuff, so they work like a detail or whatever. And I just started, talking to them, and it just seemed something that I was like drawn to. And my grandfather was a police officer, but I never really asked him, like how he liked it. I just knew he was.
Oh
Uh,
yeah, you trying to live up to it. I get it.
yeah. So then when I moved to Ohio, I was like working like odd jobs, I was doing like landscaping and stuff like that. And, I was expecting my first kid, so I didn't really know like, well, you can't really support a family on, working at, Western Reserve or something like the YMCA with like $10 an hour here and there.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I went to the police academy, and then I just basically got into it like that. It's, I guess, something I always wanted to do.
And you were already doing jujitsu when you started, right?
Yeah, I was already doing jujitsu before that.
So as far as the like the test goes, the mile, the push-ups, yada yada yada, you were probably top of the class, yeah?
Yeah, pretty much when it comes to the cardio and stuff like that. Maybe not so much as like the push-ups, but definitely for sure the mile and a half run was pretty easy.
Yeah. See, when I a while back, a few years back, I'm pretty fat right now, but a few years back, I was in like fight shape. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
I went and tried out for the police department. And man, I busted everybody on push-ups, busted sit-ups, and the mile and a half or whatever it was. I made everybody look bad. I was talking shit by then. Now I shouldn't have, but I was like, "Give me a job," you know. I was causing a scene, and it was more having fun with it. But I knew that like I was in shape like that because of what I was doing. I really did smoke them out. It was cool, man. It's I didn't get the job. I ended up not getting it. People that didn't even finish the mile and a half got the job. Yeah, man. And I was like, come on now, what y'all talking about? But as far as the police work goes, how much has jujitsu helped you with that? Have you had to use it any?
Oh yeah. I mean, like the place that I work at is pretty. I mean, you get some pretty violent people that come through there. Some of them like to, not so much like. So they do like when I say fight is like they don't really try to assault the officer. They're basically don't want to get arrested. They don't want to go into handcuffs and stuff like that. So I mean, we get to use it a lot actually. I mean, at least I do. There's other officers that do go hands on with people, and sometimes they're not as lucky. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? But
Go ahead.
yeah, I was just saying it definitely comes in handy for sure.
Oh, for sure. Now, I think, obviously, I'm not sitting there like, I wouldn't want to say like, yes, man, win for jujitsu, and this other cop got stabbed or something. You know what I mean? But I think if they're not training, I think they are doing themselves a disservice because like just with you, man, I'm not saying like it's not done. You live in Ohio,
Yeah.
still cool. Do you know K.O. Butler and Brian and them up there? Brian Clark?
No, what part of
Oh,
Ohio?
fucking no idea. I'm the I'm the worst, man. I know they come down from Ohio. They fight for us sometimes. They're very good people. Just figured they might be in the area. It's I don't know, man. What's it like having a Jake Paul coming from where you live? What's that like?
Honestly, that guy's just like it's.
Like Adrian or Akron or something.
I think it's honestly it's all those fights are bought for sure.
It looks like it to me. People don't want to say that.
So you got to think about it though. He's training legit. He's training with legit boxers. So he's not just a so-called YouTuber. I mean, he's training like like a fighter. So obviously he's going to be decent. You know what I mean? But I mean, I think all the fights are pretty much like
The Anderson fight, I didn't believe that. I didn't believe that even a little bit. I bet money on it and I didn't pay him. Is my cousin. I was just like, you ain't getting that money. That's a fake out, man. That my wife said they live in Akron.
Oh, they're from Akron area.
Yeah. How far is that from you?
So I'm by Cleveland, so that's probably like 40 minutes
Oh,
south.
okay. So y'all are pretty close. They're good cats. If y'all can link up, man, y'all go grab a beer. But are you watching the fights tonight?
Yeah, I'm gonna try to. Yes.
Who you got?
I mean, Izzy's pretty good, but I mean, I think the other guy's got to have more heart in him. You know what I mean?
He looks terrifying.
Yes. Yes. So,
What about between Michael Chandler and Poirier?
well, I'm a Poirier fan, man.
I like watching that guy punch people.
Yeah, he's
Heck
come a long
yeah.
way. And like, if you think about it, like a lot of those guys have like had like really rough beginnings, and it's kind of nice to see them actually like become better fighters.
Yes, all the time, man. Do you know Ryan Aitken? Have you heard of him?
No.
We're getting him on the podcast at a later date. He's been doing jiu-jitsu. He's actually like beating everybody at combat jiu-jitsu right now. And I'm not 100% sure, but I think he just beat Rashad Evans. That's a pretty big deal.
Yeah.
That's Rashad Evans. Mushroomed out Rashad Evans too. He's out here seeing shit and stuff, so it's it's wild. How obviously jiu-jitsu is growing. What do you think has to happen for it to kind of catch on a little more mainstream?
Well, they're doing a pretty good job with like Gordon Ryan, promoting him a lot. And I mean, he's putting the sport out there more than anybody has, I think. I mean, obviously the Gracies did their thing back in the 90s when it came to UFC and stuff like that. And, but I feel like the more people like put it on like flow grappling, the more it's out there available, people are going to see like, oh, wow, it's kind of cool. But I think like if jiu-jitsu goes back to more of like like a stand-up art, like with takedowns, more takedowns, not so much like guard pulling, because that's what people don't really like. I think that I've talked to, at least, is like, oh well, you're just gonna pull guard. That's kind of lame.
Well, I understand that. I can see wrestling being boring as far as like just hitting a double leg and holding somebody down. Because like there's been times I'm grappling and I'm just gonna hold you there if you can't get up. But
Yeah.
like there's this guy I know, Chuck Mitchell, Elijah Carlton, Emil, they sit down and pull guard, but then they snatch a leg off.
Yeah.
That's not boring to me. That's like, holy shit, you just
Oh,
blew
I
him
mean,
out.
yeah, that stuff. I mean, that stuff is good. I mean, like, I think what it comes down to is, like, I guess just pretty much putting it out there more. I mean, because there's so many gyms out there now that you could, get jujitsu anywhere. But the problem is, like, there's not that many good jujitsu gyms, if that makes sense. There's a lot of
what you're saying. Well, it's like there's levels to black belts.
Yeah, and I mean, if you go like more rural places, you'll have like blue belt teachers that own schools, purple belt teachers that that own schools. So I mean, I guess it would be to get better quality jujitsu, but
I get that. That's like me. I'm only a blue belt. Now I have an MMA gym, so it's a little different. I got a really good kickboxing coach as far as stuff like that, stuff that I can pass down. But now everything that I teach comes from Chuck Mitchell, but he's a brown belt out of 10th Planet in Huntsville.
Yeah.
But I do get what you're saying. Also, it's like Frank Mir's a black belt, and then there's like like if I get a black belt, I'm just hey, what's up, man? As far as Gordon Ryan, man, you think he's natty or no?
no.
I watched him go from skinny to like Jack City, son.
None of those guys are natural for sure.
Why are they not being natural? Why not? You think they're just trying to win, or because the guy he went against last wasn't natural either? That guy was Jack City.
Yeah, and Andre Galval is definitely not natural.
It's terrifying looking.
But I mean, obviously, there's no shame to them at all. I'm not dogging them or anything like that. But I mean, I honestly think it comes down to like the way they train. I mean, they're still hitting the weights. They're still training every day. So it comes down to their basically body recovery. So if you can't really, your body starts breaking down if you're not on something that'll help you.
I understand, man. So what's the plan? What's the plan for you long term in jiu-jitsu? What's the plan? What's the plan at the police station?
So basically, what I want to eventually do is like have my own academy somewhere. Eventually, it's like long-term plan, obviously, but right now with jiu-jitsu, I'm just enjoying still training. I'm starting to do more judo, more wrestling. Now that I got my black belt, I don't have like this, like, oh, I need to get this or whatever. I need to work on my half guard sweep. So I'm trying to work more on my stand-up and then probably, compete more, obviously. I think that's my plan on that. And then as far as the police department goes, just hopefully retire, not end up on YouTube.
Yes, but yes, got to be cool. Got to be nice to people, man. Have you got any crazy stories where you've had to deal with like a crazy person that's like talking all kinds of shit, or is that not a thing?
Oh yeah, that's very common. Everybody's on drugs. Everybody.
So what do you got? Give me one. Go ahead.
Everybody that we deal with is basically on drugs. So I think it was like 2 winters ago, we got a call for this guy. It was basically a disturbance at this house. Whenever they say like disturbance, it's just it's a vague call where like people are probably yelling or something along those lines, or they're fighting. So, but there's not really a whole lot of information. So when they say disturbance, it could be anything, honestly, especially like 3:00 in the morning.
Yeah.
So it was just called for a disturbance at this known drug house. And as soon as we get there, there's this guy who's like, he's legit a midget. He's maybe like 4 foot, something like that. He is, it's middle of winter. It's cold. It's very, it's snow on the ground. And this guy is just basically in his boxers, but profusely. And he's running around the house. And then he goes and runs up onto this little fence. And he's like swinging on it like this. Yeah. And then he's going crazy. And then he just starts screaming, "The giant raccoons are chasing me." And he goes, "Ah!" And he just takes off running. And I'm like, looking at my partner, and he's like, "Yeah, we should probably go find him."
Holy shit.
Now we're chasing this guy who's like obviously high on either PCP or meth, most likely PCP, because that'll make you basically, your body's just burning up on the inside. So your body's essentially running a marathon while you're just kind of chilling.
Yeah, walking around.
So like going hands on with somebody like that is going to be terrible. tasing a person like that's gonna be terrible. You know what I mean? Because there's no you're gonna use a lot of force to get them under control, essentially. So you want to try to at least try to de-escalate things so you can actually get them to go cooperatively without having to go hands on, because most of the time that's what people end up, dying in custody, is because they're hyperventilating, their heart is just going so crazy that it gives out. You know what I mean? So we ended up finding this guy. He was he I think it was like maybe like a whole mile that we chased his footprints because it was snowing. So, but he was actually a nice dude. He was just hallucinating about giant raccoons chasing him.
He was high as a kite, man. Them coons was gonna get him. That's insane, man. I've never heard somebody see giant raccoons. Now, I used to be an alcoholic. I used to be on drugs when I was young, and I get it though. I can see it, man. That's insane. What would you say as far as being in law enforcement? What has been the most useful thing for you that you've learned in jiu-jitsu?
Definitely being able to like stay calm under pressure. Does that make sense?
Oh, amen.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
If I'm going like hands on with somebody, it's not like it's actually pretty sad that what grappling translates over, like grapple all the time, and when you go hands on with somebody that doesn't do any grappling, it's very easy to get them under control.
Yes, dude. I've been trying to get the police officers around here to train. Man, I beg them. I try to get them to. They just ain't hopped on board, man. I think I think it'd be cool to have drills like I think you sometimes. I might be wrong, but I think I saw a video of you drilling in your police gear. No.
Yeah, I try to do that at least maybe like once a week. Only with certain people that I know that are other cops that train, just because they know how to manipulate the holster and stuff like that, where it can give you more realistic training. Because like if I go with somebody that's just like a white belt or anybody that just does jujitsu and they just try to grab some, because I want to have like that oh shit feeling, like he's actually getting my gun out and stuff like
Yes.
that. So try like maybe like once or twice a week to try to get some rolls in with the actual gear on. But
I think that would be so fun though, because I think again, I'm just a blue belt, but like around here, we're in Alabama, man. People ain't really training. Almost everyone they arrest is going to be drunk, have a beer belly. They're almost never going to get a hold of anybody like that. But we've got this guy up here, Will Sparks, and man, Will Sparks is like, man, I've seen him throw a car one time. He's Jack City, man. And if they could just like get used to kind of like rolling around with him, like with him like going for their holster and stuff, I think it'd be like so great. Once they feel somebody weak, they go, "Nah, man, you ain't that guy."
yeah, and I tell guys all the time, I'm like, you guys should just start training. I mean, you may not need it ever, or you may not, but the time that you do need it, you're gonna wish you would have known, what to do at the time.
Yeah, when you're getting the hell whooped out of you, it's like, oh shit.
I feel like a lot of times, like they say they don't have time and stuff like that, but a lot of the guys have time to go out to the bar or whatever and drink or party, but they don't have time to train. So I feel like it's more like an ego thing than anything.
I think so too. I think again around here, like I didn't really play sports in school or nothing. I met this guy, Devin Davis. He actually won a belt under us, and I beat him up a little, like his first day at the gym, because he was really athletic, and I didn't want him to do good. I didn't like hurt him. I ain't a bad person, but I needed him. Like I was really fat, and I needed him to know that, like, hey, I'm very unathletic. I didn't play sports, yada yada. But I knew if he came in and did good, he was never coming back.
Mm-hmm.
He came back, right? So he was telling his buddies the story, and they said, "Who beat you up?" And he goes, "Don't worry about it." They said, "Who beat you up?" He goes, "Sam McAlpin that did." And what they said was, they said he didn't even play no ball, and they just tore him up over it. He goes, "Well, can you beat me up?" And they go, "Well, no." He goes, "Then shut the hell up, leave me alone." But he ended up winning a belt under us, man. And I think it's a big part of them. A lot of people think that playing football translates, and it might make you tough, but it don't translate to like really, really fighting a person that kind of knows what they're doing. Because like, I feel like I'm pretty good for around here, but like, dude, there's terrifying people on the planet. Like, you're a black belt, Emil's, nice, happy, ha ha ha, and dude, he'll snatch your fucking leg off, man.
That's like, I mean, guys like that are like so dangerous, because like people will probably be like, "Oh, I'm just gonna beat this guy up," and it's not even the case, man. Like yeah. Whenever people say that, I just laugh. I'm like, all right, yeah, whatever. That if that's what you want to think, then think it. But I mean, I've trained with a couple of pro NFL guys. I mean, don't get me wrong; they're super athletic, super strong, but there's no there's no real translation to fighting and grappling from football at all.
That's
I mean,
very cool.
strength, but some athleticism. But other than that, I mean, unless they've been training, then it's a different story. But if they're just like, a couple months in, I mean, blue bush.
Snatching a neck, boss.
Yeah.
Speaking of that, there's a guy at 10th Planet in Huntsville. I'm terrible at names, man, but every time I'm down there, I see him, I get to talk to the guy. I don't get to go as much as I want to, but he's very skinny. He's very quiet. He's very, very cool. And I tell him all the time, I'm like, man, if I'm at a bar, I'm picking a fight with you. And then I'm limping home because I'm getting fucked up. I picked the wrong guy, man. You'd never know. He ain't got probably the least athletic person besides me that I know. And he's just like, no, man, I'm going to snatch your leg off real quick. And for a little while, I thought I was doing good with him. And then one day I went for like a heel hook and I didn't get it at all. And he grabbed mine, heel hooked me, made me tap. He goes, you go for my feet, I'm going for yours. And I got tapped out in 2 seconds. I was like, holy shit, man. People are good. And I don't think people realize how good people are. And that says a lot for Chuck, because Chuck's doing a good job with those people down there. Man, we're about to cut it off for the day. I appreciate the time that I've had with you. I'm sorry for the delay at the beginning. 5-year plan, man. What's the plan? What are you doing in 5 years?
Definitely competing more. Still be a cop in 5 years, and start my own business for sure.
Heck yeah. Jose Carrillo, every police officer should be training, correct?
That's correct.
Yes, brother. Man, it really is so awesome to get to finally meet you and get to talk to you. I really appreciate your time. Let's do it again sometime. And if you're ever up in Alabama, please holler at us. We'd love a seminar. We'll get you a beer after because we ain't got no money. But, man, we'd appreciate it.
All right, man. Appreciate it. Thanks.
Heck yeah, brother. Have a good weekend. Thank you for the time.
You're welcome.